This is something I've been wanting to do for a while now. Just wanted to take a moment to talk about how I found motivation to get back into making videos after having lost it for so long. So in November in 2014, that was the last time I posted a video until July this year. And I wanted to take a break because I hated everything that I was making. I thought everything was just the worst minute of my life I'd ever seen, and just thinking about having wasted days working on like any of these projects was just really it's really tough to accept for me. And I mean, everyone says it's good to be critical of your stuff, but I just didn't want to continue with that until I learned more about how to do that. So I took that break, and in that year and a half, a little bit over a year and a half, that I took a break from video making and any kind of filmmaking things, I did learn some things just by reading and watching other movies and all that stuff people tell you to do, but I didn't go out and shoot anything at all. So that video I posted on YouTube in 2014 was the last thing I had worked on until July this year. And the thing in July that also wasn't even my idea, was something I was asked to do. So I hadn't had the motivation to do anything, and this past semester at school I had to make a short film, so I wrote and produced one. And after doing that, I found the motivation to keep going and keep working on this because it's something I want to do. But that moment where I lost motivation, it wasn't good. I was productive in other things and not in filmmaking, so I didn't learn anything really. I mean, I can say I learned by watching other movies, but really it's what good is learning if you're not going to use it? So I don't know how much of that memory or how much of that knowledge I actually remember now about anything. But one thing that really inspired me to get back into all this was The Burden of Dreams, the Les Blank documentary about Werner Herzog's Fitzcarraldo. It's about all the difficulties that they faced on the set of the film, and how how much of a nightmare it was getting all the money to be able to produce the film, and the actors just not enjoying their time there, and just everything about the film seemed like it was a nightmare and just a disaster project. So it's seemed like an impossible thing to do. But here's what I think is really interesting. There's a scene in the movie, in both Burden of Dreams and Fitzcarraldo, where Werner Herzog, he wants to pull this steamboat over a mountain. It's not like a big mountain, but still a very steep hill, and it seems impossible. It just seems so impossible. And they had engineers try to do it, and they did eventually, but until that moment, it was just really difficult, and there was a possibility of people dying on set from the machines that they built to pull this boat. And I mean, you can call him crazy or whatever, but he did it. He did the impossible. And it took 4 years, but he got the film done. So I figured, if he can do that, if he can literally pull this boat over a mountain, and it's a metaphor for dreams and chasing them, why can't I just do something so much simpler by like making a video or just going out and shooting things? I can teach myself and have that experience that I want to have. Why can't I do it? And I saw that movie last year, though obviously it didn't help out, but I saw Burden of Dreams a couple weeks ago. So it was definitely a motivator. And just remembering how much fun I had, even though it caused me stress from making videos, just remembering how much fun I had in the process of doing that. And yeah, that was the motivation I needed. I needed that memory of the good times. Sounds really cheesy, but it's what happened. And yeah, so this isn't just for pursuing your dreams in filmmaking. This is for pursuing anything you want to do, just anything. If you're not actively working on that, then what are you doing? Reading an article on some website or watching a video on YouTube on a how-to, it's helpful, but it's not going to get you anywhere if you don't actually actively pursue it. Work on it. Do it. Just do it. I mean, really, there's like nothing else to it. If you want to learn something, you have to do it. And that is how I got that's part of how I got my motivation to get back into this. It's just doing it, because there's no better teacher than figuring out what works and what doesn't and being able to teach yourself that. So for filmmaking, that's a big part of it. If you hate your work, just screw it. Just keep going. You can hate it. If someone else might like it, doesn't matter. It's for you. Eventually, if you will definitely want to make money with it, of course, but that's eventually, just focus on the now and just do it. Just work on it. And that is how I found my motivation, and that is my advice that I give to you today.